This screencast is going to show you how to change some of the settings inside Google Drive, so it might make it a bit more easier for you to use. This flows on from the one that shows you how to log into Google Drive, so you would have done that through your Concordia account, and you'll know you're in Google Drive in your Concordia Google Drive because it's got the Concordia logo here. It's got your name here and probably your image here if you've put one there as well. So just a couple of things to do with Drive. Across here we have this little tab here on the right hand side. This one enables you to go to the grid view. If you click on grid view, it changes it to these little tiles. So you can have things like every one of these tiles is a different folder, and any other documents you've got sit down the bottom as well. So that's the tile view. I like the list view. Some people like the tile view. It's up to you. On the other side down here, there's some things you'd like to know. You can expand your Google Drive out. So at the moment it's all a little compressed, but if I hit that little arrow key, you'll notice that all my folders will open up. And if I've got things inside of folders that I've shared with other people, or I've got other folders, you'll see that they will expand as well. Whenever there's an arrow, it expands. You'll also note that if there is, say for instance here, I've got an account that's got a little picture of a person in there, that means that folder is shared with someone. And we'll talk about sharing a bit later on. So if there's a person appearing there, it means it's shared. I'll just close that down. The other things down this side is shared with me. You can click on that and that will show you any document that's been shared with you. Your recent one is quite a nice tab to have. So if you've been working on something recently and you click on that, it'll just appear in the order that it's been done. So you can see that, I've got a date stamp here, and that will just keep on going forever. If you want, that's handy to find things as well. You can also have start, and you can also put things in your trash as well. So my drive looks like that. Across here, you can sort A to Z, which is pretty handy. And this little information tab will give you details of the file that you've got open. Now we will show you that a little bit later, but it's a very handy button to hit because it tells you where a file's stored. It tells you who's created it and who's editing it. And it may also tell you who's used it last, which means that it's very handy if you're working in a group. The other side of this is the little cog. The cog shows you settings. If you go to the settings tab, which you click on that, you can click on the settings, and what it does is it comes up with another window, tells you how much storage you're using and things like that as well. We'll talk about these things now, and it really depends on how you operate. This little tab here, if I click that tab, it will convert any file I have to a Google Doc format. Now, that's good and bad. The good thing is that it all sits as a Google Doc and you can play with it in Google. The bad thing is if you want to save something as a Word document or something like that, it will convert it to a Google Doc. If you untick that, it will then just leave it in whatever format you upload a file into your Google Drive. It will stay like that. I tend to leave it unticked and I can convert them later. But it's really up to you how you manage that. I'd be kind of tempted to leave it unticked, and then when you create any document in Google, you create it as a Google file. The language has already been set up for you, and if you click this one here, it means you can sync your Google Docs and slides so that you can work offline. So that means that if suddenly the internet connection goes down or something like that, you are able to work offline, which is a really good way of being able to operate. And you might have some things down here in terms of photos, but depending on how it's been set up here for you as a student. So I would tick that one as well. And we'll talk about setting up offline files in a little bit. So that is how Google Drive looks. If you can't find anything, you can always search. And we have a little bit of a video a bit later on about how to search in Google Drive as well.